country would bring horses here and train them.
And I used to enjoy coming by, golfing, after getting off of work.
They did a magnificent job, and we had a waiter, Preston, who could carry 15 dinners on one tray.
What you've done so far with the new hotel and convention and meeting rooms, you've really done a great service to Turf Valley. Basically what was in the newspapers brings back a lot of memories. From San Pastorio and my Aunt Connie, and how we got involved in buying a farm is that they went to New York. And Aunt Connie was going to go shopping, and Uncle Sam said, I'm going to do a little shopping too. So after they all get back and sit down and have their dinner, they said, how'd your day go? Aunt Connie says, the shop she went to, and Sam says, I went shopping too. I bought 3 horses.
At that time, Howard County was just full of farmers, and you know, they weren't acclimated to a country club. So we had to do a lot of road work to help Sam get the club off the ground.
When they got the builders to come out there to build the house, half of the problem was my uncle decided to turn it around. They had the front of the house facing the 10th hole. My uncle didn't like that, so he turned it around. As for the grand opening, I think we had rain that night. They all had their fur jackets on.
It was dinner and music, and I remember dancing, and it was so pretty.
I think I started caddying maybe 15 or 16. There was not a whole lot out in the county to do as far as a teenager making money, and some of the players that you would caddy for would say, now, do you think this club would work here? I didn't know a damn thing about what club to use. If you didn't give good advice, you maybe wouldn't get a good tip. So the best thing to do is like the monkey, you know, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
In the early days, we walked.
We had
never thought riding a golf cart. That was against the law. Either you carried your bag or you had caddies. We had caddies for many years out there. And anybody that got drove in a golf cart, I said, there must be something wrong with it.
So when my uncle decided to sell this or lease it to giant food stores, they came in and they started putting these feet down all over creation, like you would do in a store, you know. But this was the entrance to this and this. They wanted to get rid of the homey atmosphere, the country atmosphere was what they called it.
Didn't work out, so he got the Turf Valley back, and then I knew he put it back on the market again. And I believe that's when Nick Mangione met San Pastorio and then they negotiated how they were going to purchase it.
I don't know, I imagine your uncle probably looked at my dad as a younger version of himself.
Yeah.
When they were dealing with each other. I'm sure the deal was written somewhere on a cocktail napkin. It's just the way they did it then.
Nick, all your family, let me congratulate you and thank you for inviting me out to what I think is one of the most beautiful places I've seen anywhere in the United States and our great state of Maryland, particularly in Howard County.
We have spent the last 13 years building this up to the beautiful resort that it is today. It never enjoyed the opulence and or the visual appearance that it has today.
We are service-oriented, and Mr. Mangione just absolutely will not settle for anything that's second best. It's got to be perfect for him.
Another thing that my father said, and I agree with, is you cater to everyone, not just one particular class. You cater to all the classes.
Nick Mangione was a people person. I remember the first year of the State Farm Classic that many of the senior golfers were staying at Turf Valley. And I just happened to be wandering in for some obscure reason, and Nick saw me coming across the lobby and said, "Come, Dick, have a drink." And it didn't matter that Arnold Palmer and Chichi Rodriguez were checking in. It was Dick's story he wanted to chat with. And he was ignoring all these fancy big ego golfers just to chat with me. And I always remember that about Nick, because people are important.
Just us sitting there at the table having the meeting, someone spoke up and said, "Well, Sam, what are you going to name the place?" Sam said, "I don't know, but we got to come up with something." He said, "I got a bunch of blank papers at my office we got to get filled out, one thing or another." So out Mr. Jameson, the golf pro, said, "You know, that's a beautiful valley out through there coming in the road." And everybody said, "Yeah." And he said, "When George gets off his ass and plants it all in grass, it's going to be a beautiful turf valley." And that's when somebody spoke up. I think it was Mr. Jameson again spoke up. He said, "That's a beautiful name right there, Turf Valley." Mr. Pistoria got up and walked over right on the phone and called his main man, Mr. Bill Whiteley. Said, "All them papers we got laying down there," said, "put Turf Valley on top of them." Said, "That's what we're going to name the club."
Mambo Italiano, Mambo Italiano.
Well, I came to Turf Valley in 1979. I was the first family member to come to work here, the executive director, and I still am. And that same year I got married, and my dad decided to redo the room for the occasion. And it actually wasn't completed until the night before the wedding, but it was beautiful. Cameo room.
Go to school, just make a way to beat the bambino.
We decided, since we were having a huge, big fat Italian wedding, that it was definitely, you know, the smarter and better choice all around to get married here. But the more people that I talked to that said, "Oh, well, that's so cool, your parents and all of your aunts and uncles got married here," the more I realized how really special it was. And also, it's a piece of home for me and my family too. So, you know, it just felt like my house turned into like a fairy tale land.
About 30 years ago, there were some really forward-looking businessmen in the community that decided there ought to be an organization that promotes travel and tourism to Howard County, and at the forefront of that was Nick Mangione. Now we're going to have a brand new welcome center in historic Ellicott City, 4,000 square feet. The Mangiones are recognized for their contribution to our industry with the Blossoms of Hope cherry tree planted right in front of that welcome center.
Well, for Blossoms of Hope, Turf Valley has been one of our top community conscious partners. There's no question. They were there when we broke ground for the Founders Tree. Turf Valley was one of our founders. Of course, Pete Mangione, as president of the Tourism Council, has seen this program from the very beginning as a way to highlight Howard County and promote it as a destination, but also to give back something to the community.
My husband Neil and I have lived in Howard County almost as long as the golf course has existed, but we feel very fortunate that our timing was consistent with the development of the Legends. We love it here. It's beautiful. Every time we go away and then return, we're so happy to be home again, and can't say enough positive about the community.
Nick he was a visionary, and he saw Turf Valley as a place to develop. So, and he always had a strong healthcare component.
We got a nice building here, brand new, all the possible amenities and benefits that you could ask for a new community. We have assisted living, skilled nursing services, acute, subacute care, along with rehab services as well.
So they can stay in their community, hopefully be near their loved ones who are going to move into the new houses. And it just gives us an opportunity to keep people who become married to Turf Valley to stay with us.
The dynamic of management and ownership lends itself very well to a very positive and productive place to work and a caring place to work.
Well, really what I think is the most distinguishing characteristic of Turf Valley is you can't identify it. It's never staying the same. It's always changing, always evolving, and looking for new ways to serve the public. Not just Howard County. Obviously it is a gem for us, but for the entire region.
The vision for Turf Valley is to continue what we've set up these so many years and to make it a model community for the 21st century. Turf Valley wants to take everything and put it together and have a wonderful place where people can be safe, educate their children, work here, shop here, everything.
Residents in the Legends are very enthusiastic about the town square development. We think it will be a real asset to not only to the Turf Valley community, but also to people who live nearby.
What a valuable resource Turf Valley's been for the community over the last 50 or so years.
Sam Pistorio and Nick Mangione really had an awful lot in common. Both were self-made men with an enormous work ethic. And the only difference was Sam Pistorio didn't have any kids, and Nick had 10.
As long as they had at least Nick's work ethic, I'd be very happy because he embraced work, he loved it, and I think they saw that from him.
He gives you that great big smile he has, that $1 million smile, and he'd be very proud of it. He'd have pride of ownership, and he'd tell us what's next.
One of the children told me his story years ago. She said she was hitting balls with her dad out here on a beautiful golf course, and she said, "Dad, what's it feel like to own all of this land?" And he said, "Honey, I don't own it. I'm just borrowing it for a while."
Here's to another wonderful 50 years, and again, thank you. And by the way, keep those beautiful Preakness balloons coming to Howard County.
Congratulations to the Mangione family and to the next 50